This is the Tabernacle Podcast with our two favorite Adams. We have Adam Sharp, Adam Ray, Lord Matthew Corey Hughes as our executive producer. We see Benjamin Vermilia. He's been a slacker, a little bit of a slacker. But gentlemen.
Talk to him about it.
Oh, and me, John Vermilia. Gentlemen, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
Are you jet lagged? Am I seeing fatigue in those eyes?
Nah.
No? You've just been to the promised land and back?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit. This podcast, I'm excited about it. I get excited about all of them, so don't get too excited about me being excited.
We're pretty excited, actually.
But just in hearing both of you come back from, have just recently returned from a scouting mission, we thought it might be good to hear about this scouting mission on behalf of the Tabernacle. But I'd like to start with a scripture because we need a little bit of context.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll start in John, the Gospel of John, where in chapter 1 it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." Gentlemen, you have just seen Adam Sharp for the first time with your own eyes, not through a video or pictures, and you multiple times. The glory of God's creation in the great state of Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
Is this not true?
This is true.
How long were you there?
We arrived Monday evening, 7:35 their time, so 11:35 our time.
Yeah.
And we left Friday morning.
So it was a
quick trip.
whirlwind.
Yep.
It was a whirlwind trip. Mm-hmm. And if you're wondering why the Tabernacle chose to send the Adams north, is it north? It's way north, northwest, to the great northwest, the last American frontier. We find our biblical basis in the book of Numbers, when the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Send men to spy out the land of Alaska," Canaan, which I am giving to the people of the Tabernacle. Just kidding. We're not moving the church to Alaska. Maybe not yet. Yeah,
there were multiple times that I actually had to get Adam off the phone because he was trying to explain to Samantha why everything should fit in one Connex box and not to worry.
I could send for the wife and kids, and they'll meet me there.
And they'll meet you there, right? Yeah. You were just like, "I'm out.
Got this."
See a Cadillac.
Yeah,
campus pastor, whatever. Yeah. We're starting a new work in Alaska.
I'll start a tab campus there, and they can meet me there too. It's fine.
Right. Whatever. I told you no.
I know.
At least not yet.
God is not calling you, okay?
Yeah.
The no is for now.
The no is for now. But this is cool because I have a sneaking suspicion, just like the majority of our Michigan men, they all have this, fantasy that they're going to move to the UP, but better yet would be Alaska. They're just trying to get away from civilization. Mm-hmm. But there was an opportunity there. And just briefly, can you tell us, Adam, because you were the one that found this opportunity, kind of the purpose of the trip?
Yeah. Just to give a quick kind of background, I was in Illinois and a men's retreat, hunting men's retreat, and spoke for the Sunday services at this little church in Illinois. And one of the gentlemen that was there afterward asked me to come and speak for a wild game dinner in Alabama. So I said, yeah, I'd love to. I've not preached in Alabama before. So last spring, I spoke in Alabama, and this church does I think there was 8 smokers in the parking lot. The team started
an aggressive sportsman's dinner.
Started at 8 a.m. Everybody's out there cooking. There's probably 30 to 40 people. It's all wild, crazy stuff that they're grilling, smoking, cooking. And so I just had a lot of time because I wasn't speaking till after 5 that day to just chat with people. And one of the gentlemen that I spoke with is a guy named Tommy Bishop. And he was explaining to me this Chilton Baptist Builders Group and all the projects they're working on. And he goes, and we've been helping with the church up in Craig, Alaska, but it's about to get crazy. And so he's got a ministry they're building actually right now, kind of like an apartment onto the pastor's house in Ketchikan to help with internship programs. They've built a house in Kaufman Cove to the north side of the island of Prince of Wales for internship programs. There's pastors training other pastors for rural ministry. teaching them how to hunt and fish and all those types of things. And then the main project will be this camp. So he's telling me about all this stuff. And in my heart, I'm thinking, this is the perfect outlet for us to get our men into mission work, where we're taking skilled tradesmen up to accomplish tasks, working alongside each other, working alongside men from all over the country, with this ultimate purpose of establishing a camp and ministry to present the gospel. So I'm thinking about it, praying about it. I'm kind of messaging Tommy behind the scenes, like, is this even a possibility? He says, why don't you just come up and do a discovery trip? And so talked to the campus pastors. Adam was the first one to say, I'm all in, let's do this.
I think I heard there was a fight about who got to go with you. Was that correct?
There was a little bit of a fight.
It was a little bit
For
of a
whatever
fight?
reason, Josh Bolus also wanted to go.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and aside from everything that happened in Alaska and the opportunities and what we saw and witnessed, just a great time hanging with Adam and traveling. He's a great traveling companion. And so it was fun to even just experience that outside of the norms of church ministry. But
just to see if there were possibilities for us right up there.
Right.
So it is standard, at least from my view, is when we start a new thing, we always send 2 sets of eyes to go check it out. And so it wasn't just a junket, because it was, like, I remember when you came back from Alabama, you were pretty fired up. And just a little bit of the background, and I don't want to overstate things, but Alaska is not a very populated state in relationship to its size.
Mm-hmm.
Ketchikan is not a bit, where you flew into, is not a big city. I'm looking at pictures of it, and it looks beautiful, idyllic. You know, you've got the scenery, brightly colored buildings. I'm sure they do that so they can find. Not a lot of white houses. You got to be able to find your house in the wintertime when it's, the worst. So this wasn't a hunt and fishing trip, although hunting and fishing will come into it.
For sure.
But not having a lot of population. Churches are small, and when churches are small, there's not a lot of capital flowing around. And when men there are probably most likely trying to feed their families, they don't have bonus time to be building homes for ministry interns, working on a church, or what I heard from you, the big project is to actually provide a camp for young people in Alaska, because they don't have those opportunities. Can you give us just like the bottom line of what you told me of the cost that it is for a kid to go to camp because they have to go so far away?
Yeah. We heard numbers ranging from $1,500 to $3,000 for a student to go there. Or
$1,500 to $3,000.
Yeah.
And they're complaining about $250 to go to Camp 25 or whatever it is. Yeah.
If a church is then looking, because a lot of them are, I hate using the term underprivileged because they're privileged in other ways, but financially it's not, they're not well-to-do. So if a church said, hey, I want to sponsor these 20 kids to go to camp at a price tag of $2,000, you're so highly invested in that it just doesn't make fiscal sense. So the opportunities in Southeast Alaska with populations, according to our most recent census, of 5,600 to 6,200 students that can be reached, and the majority of them could get to this location for about $300. So total.
But there has to be a camp there.
Has to be a camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now it's a gorgeous, recently timbered plot of land on a lake called Control Lake. It's absolutely stunning views right there, and you can just see how it would set up. Tommy, the head of Chilton Baptist Builders, is like, you can just watch his eyes, and he's like, I can see a dock right here, and I can see the boys jumping off the end of it, and he sees the vision there. But that's kind of the root idea and the purpose behind the build, along with providing retreats for pastors, providing retreats for couples, marriage retreats, men's hunting lodge,
all
type
the stuff
events,
that camps
fishing
do.
trips, all the things.
Yeah. So we're blessed here in Northern Michigan. You go in almost any direction and find a camp. Some camps are, well funded. established, been here forever, like Lake Ann Camp. We've done retreats there. Our most recent camp that we held our men's and women's retreat was Timberwolf Lake, but another beautiful young life camp. And then there's all kinds of different camps. They don't have those options. And so this opportunity for us to go and serve others, there's an Acts tie-in that I'll get to. But let's back up just for a second. Two things. One, in case you're wondering, well, what's the big deal about camp? I spent a little time prepping on the statistics having to do with outcomes when students are regularly involved in camp. I didn't even look at men's retreat, women's retreat, pastors' retreats, and all those other types of retreats that can happen at a camp like this. But they're stunning, right? 90% of campers report an increase in their faith just from being at a camp. Now, that's just a base level. That's not talking about conversions, recommitments. I got delivered from this. I made, this better choice, or how they came back treating their parents and how they acted at school. But I remember the director of Lake Ann sharing some of these statistics, and I wish they could just roll off my tongue. But they're pretty shocking about the positives that come from any kid being involved in camp. So even if you don't listen to the rest of this podcast, get your kid to camp, to our camps. But we're looking as a church, how can we bless a part of our own country, which is the state of Alaska. We're talking about the southeast coastline, kind of where all the fjords and all those things run. And there's thousands of islands there, is my understanding. I've never been. But I wanted to go through your traveling buddy's eyes because you'd never been to Alaska. And Adam Ray was gracious enough to give Adam Sharp a window seat. And so if you'll just describe for us, like your first, through your eyes, like what you saw.
I'll try. We were talking about that before we hit record with the flying in. So I've always been obsessed with Alaska and nature and all that stuff. And so I've watched all the shows and you look at pictures and see videos and even the videos that I took and I'm watching with my kids, they don't do it justice, right? You just can't capture the beauty and how amazing it is there. So flying in, it's like this jaw-dropping experience. It's actually, so I don't think I ever said this to you, but like I felt emotional, like flying in, because one, it's somewhere I'd always wanted to go. But two, you look at that, and I was reminded, this was probably 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I was in Fight Club with you, and you made us all do this exercise of like, we partnered up and, hey, you need to be able to answer, why do you believe? Why do you believe in God? And I remember at the time my answer was, look around. Like, it's the only thing that makes sense. And that hit me even more when we were flying in, and then just in the travels there in general. But you look around and you're like, there could be no possible other explanation. Like, to look at this and go, nope, God doesn't exist. I don't know how you can get there, because that can't just happen. It's amazing. And so, I was a little bit emotional. Like, man, you're seeing, to me, the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen, nature-wise. And I've been blessed to be. And
you've been to some places.
Yes, I've been blessed to a lot of parts of the world. And I've seen some beautiful places, but none of them compared to that. And so, was it just the ocean, like butting up to mountains, or you've got mountains and oceans, and when you're flying over top, it's amazing too, because there's these mountains surrounded by the Pacific, but on top of them is a lake. And like, you could see the lake on the top of the mountain and then the ocean down below, and you're like, this is incredible. Or rivers that are flowing into the ocean. And so you look one way, you see ocean, you turn your head to the right and you see river, and you're like, this is just insane. But it just, I don't know. I don't know how you can be around that and then question whether God exists and whether he's good.
Yeah.
Because it's just amazing, the beauty. So it was eye-opening. And then there was also a perspective shift for me. I remember I was talking to Samantha on the phone like the third day we were there and going, I have it so good. Because like you were talking about, like, we can be of an assistance, we can help them. I learned a lot about the people there, and you, like I said, you watch the shows, but you don't get it. I didn't get it. I shouldn't say that about everybody else, but I didn't understand it, or those that are in ministry there that are trying to get these things done and the things that they face. Like, I'm blessed to get to do this job as, like, this is my job. I get to do ministry as a job. They're called to ministry, but they're running sawmills and doing everything they can to feed their families.
So it's like vocational ministry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'm vocational. They are
yes,
not.
Yes.
They're not getting paid.
They're bi and tri-vocational.
Yeah. They're the lead pastor of their church, but their job is running a sawmill. I mean, it's just so there's also a perspective shift that can happen and go, man, we have it so easy, so good. So yeah, I mean, there was so much that I brought back, and I'm excited as we send teams over for them to get to experience that same thing, because
you let the cat out of the bag.
Sorry.
Yeah. No.
It's awesome.
They know where we're going.
It's awesome that we can go and help.
Yeah.
And I'm pumped about that, but I'm also excited about what it can do for other dudes that are like me, that you see that, and it can only deepen your faith.
Yeah.
And strengthen your faith and give you a perspective shift to stop being whiny.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So in the middle of
incredible.
all that beauty, that to us that have the deep-rooted faith and indwelling Holy Spirit, I look at that and there's no other conscious thought than to declare, God, you are so good.
Yeah.
And yet in that, in Ketchikan, we were talking to the pastor of White Cliff Church, and he's been there, 7 or 8 years as pastor.
Yep.
The church has a long history. The former pastor's currently in prison. And so there's this complete wrecking of just the relationship that people had with the church. And so he's had to work to reestablish, redeclare the truth of God's word, and declare what was done before as unrighteous and unholy. And in the midst of that, as you're driving through town, all of the buildings there were formerly places of ill repute, that the fishermen would come into the harbor and partake of, and now they're little shops and trinket shops. But there's this deep-rooted history of evil and the corrupt nature of the darkness that's there is still prevalent and far more prevalent than the believers and that influence of light. And so, they were explaining all the way back to the government attempting to give land to different denominations to help establish churches, and then those churches did all forms of evil, and so there's no trust from the tribal folks that are there of organized religion in any capacity, and so all of this work is being done, and one of the greatest ways that the work's being done is like Cody, the pastor of Liberty Church, where we stayed on Craig in Craig, Alaska. He's running a sawmill, but out of that mill, there's multiple different ministries of firewood and helping people with projects and building this, building that. Not to mention the fact that, when you are driving from Hollis, where the ferry landed, a 3-hour ferry ride from Ketchikan to Hollis, you're driving through just pristine wilderness. You're trying to have a conversation, and yet the entire time your eyes are being drawn up to this mountain and that mountain. Oh, look at the eagle, look at the bear, look at the deer, all those types of things. But as you're driving, you're getting further and further away from this feeling of any type of civilization. And then as you come into Craig, all of a sudden our cell phones are like ding, 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 ding. We find some cell service, and then we pull up to the church, and I'm like, wow, this place looks nice. Because we're being told we're going to sleep in the basement of a church, and so you're like, I've slept in basements of churches before. Right. It was never a successful endeavor. And so we walk in, the floors are brand new, full commercial kitchen, better kitchen than we have here at the Tap, just saying. And then walk into the auditorium, main sanctuary. Everything's clean, pristine, all fine woodworking with wood that's been milled on Cody's mill. And then you go downstairs where we're staying, and they have everything clean, extra showers, all the stuff for the teams coming into work.
Wow.
So you're staying in great conditions, being fed well. Our hosts, Phil and Deborah, crushed it with make sure we had breakfast and meals and all the things while we were there. And teams like that come in to prep food to make sure that all of the workers are being fed well and cared for. But we were just blessed on each, so many levels, not to mention then you start meeting the people. Wednesday night Bible study, we're sitting around with folks and new friendships established. We met a lady named Patty that's in her 70s, and she
amazing.
Traps for a living. And we said, well, hopefully we get to see you again before the weekend. She's like, oh, well, I'll be camping up in the mountains, so I probably won't see you. And
all by myself.
She builds kayaks and canoes out of, they're gorgeous.
She's a mountain woman.
Yeah, but just a different lifestyle up there.
Right.
We met a dude named Pat, and he was great, super helpful. But so many of the people that we spent time with are invested in this project of reaching that community. And the community is incredibly diverse, from the transient fishermen that are in the harbors for a certain period of time to people that live there and have lived there historically, generationally, for years. So,
and the tribal people you mentioned
absolutely.
as well. Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that it sounds to me like a mission field that speaks our own language and doesn't require a passport.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. When you were talking about this pastor having to pick up the pieces of some horrific things that were done in that community. Like, we talk about church hurt and stuff like that here, and that's real. I'm not. But one of the differences is something happens at a church here, you go to church down the road.
Right.
You have that option. And you're seeing other examples of churches doing the right thing. There, a broken relationship with the church, that's hard to rebuild because there's not another one right down the road. And so that's their only view of Christianity. That's their only view of what it is to be part of a church. And so picking up those pieces, in my opinion, is even harder, right?
For
And
sure.
so it's an even more of a reason to send people in and show them what the love of Jesus looks like, to build the camps or just to witness to people. I mean, so I was thinking about that earlier as you were talking, like how much harder that even is there, because there's not just another one down the road that you see good things happening at.
Right.
Yeah. And it appears, at least from the short time that we were there, that the churches that are in the region, there's a really strong partnership being built, and they're all seeing we're going to get a whole lot more accomplished as a team than each of us holding on to our little small rock nuances.
Right.
And so that was encouraging, because they're all working together. You know, we were cutting and loading wood that was going on a box truck back on the ferry to come back to Ketchikan that Cody had cut, so that Alan can continue working with the team that's coming in to build this apartment for the intern that's coming in. So it was just a lot of cool connection there, that all with a gospel purpose, which is great. So
what's interesting is, so I started with, tell me about the beauty of Alaska, and you went there, but it's obvious that it was the people and the ministry that attracted your heart. When you were talking about your experience, Adam, and look around you at some of the beautiful places you'd been, and you hadn't yet been to Alaska. It was confirmed, and this is a scripture I shared with you guys before the podcast, but from the book of Job, chapter 12, Job is speaking, and he says, "But ask the beasts, and they will teach you. The birds of the heavens, they will tell you, or the bushes of the earth, and they will teach you. And the fish of the sea will declare to you." You have all those things going on in Alaska. Who among all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? In his hand is the life of every living thing and the breath of all mankind. And so on the one hand, like, you guys are next to all this beauty, but you're also witnessing there's an incredible darkness. And the darkness is the first passage we read, that the light of men is not prevalent there. It is in some. There's life there, is what I heard. Because that church isn't that big, right?
Right.
No.
Like give us an idea of the church that we're planning on partnering with.
So the church in Ketchikan, White Cliff, is, and correct me if I'm misquoting, I think he said around 45 in regular attendance. The church in Craig, Liberty Church is they had 82 the Sunday before.
82 people.
So,
yeah.
which
And these
is-
are two churches partnering on the same things. Yeah.
But this is like if you see Craig, Alaska, you're like, are there 80 people that live here?
Oh,
That's
wow.
amazing
So,
that 82 were there.
A powerful influence in that
Yeah.
community.
Yeah. And then I was also looking at an Acts tie-in, where currently our series is the book of Acts. And our passage this weekend is looking at this revolutionary church in Antioch. That really was the game changer as far as, we know about the church in Jerusalem, but because of severe persecution, there was a remnant of believers that were there. But because of the persecution, they scattered. And the first multiplying church was really Antioch. And in our passage, I think it's in chapter 11, it says that, this prophet Agabus comes down and he says, hey, there's going to be a great famine. And the leadership of that church determined to take up a massive sacrificial offering to send relief back to the Jerusalem church, which was unheard of. It's I think all the scholars I was reading were saying it was the first recorded time in the Bible we see a church sending charitable or missions-related relief to another church. And that's one of the marks of a revolutionary church. And, as far as the tab goes, we have a history going back before I ever got here of supporting missions, supporting missionaries. We've upped it to include our own sweat equity. And I think 9 or 10 trips to Haiti. Haiti's been closed down. We've been looking at other places. But this opportunity for us, that, let's be honest, does kind of appeal to the Northern Michigan man, to the Adam Sharps that say, hey, I just want to see it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But to be surrounded by all that beauty, but then do something for the darkness that is there.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing you guys say is there's an opportunity for us to come and not just build things, but to be an encouragement to believers, to the Patties, to Cody, right? He's the pastor. I forget which one it is.
Liberty Church.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the other pastor's name was
Alan.
We also met a pastor up in Kaufman Cove. I think it's Kaufman Cove Community Baptist Church, named Jason, and he has spearheaded this internship program. And the idea is that they bring in pastor or guys that are in school to be pastors, most often guys that are later in life determining that call upon their lives. And the guy that they have there right now, his name is Jerry, wife, 2 kids, but they have this house that's been built so they can come in, train for 2 years, because what they're seeing is a lot of guys come up and have the same reaction.
Yeah,
Alaska's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
Tell us about that, about the pastor experience in Alaska. I think you were...
Yeah, most of them come in and they get into that winter that's dark, gray. They don't have a ton of snowfall in southeast Alaska. If they do, it melts in a couple days, but it's just constantly dreary and gray and rainy. And that the average pastors don't make it to the 2-year mark, and they bail, which is just another stain on the ministry. You start to build relationships and build friendships and establish yourself, and then I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And it's not off. It's the families that's really hard on, beside just what it does to the pastor himself. So they're training, teaching them how to hunt and fish, be self-sustaining from land, because everything's wildly expensive. I saw
food. You mean?
Yep. I saw
everything.
A pound of beef. We ran into a grocery store, and a pound of beef was like $30-some. There was Oreos were $9.
Pack of Oreos were on sale for $9.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So they're not shipping a ton of food in there.
No.
So if you want to eat, you're saying
You're filling your
a
freezer.
part of your life is
Hunting, fishing.
Huh.
Not to mention,
So they're not limited like we are.
no,
Two buck tags.
no.
You just
No,
hunt all year round.
they get 6 tags.
Yeah.
Wow.
They can kill multiple bears, and then the fish it's everywhere. But aside from that, it's like coming into Buckley. If you have the knowledge and the know-how of the outdoors, there's immediate connections that are formed. You don't have to have that to form connections, but it's a helpful tool. And so these guys being able to walk alongside Alaskans that have been living life that way forever helps build the bridge for those relational conversations that lead to bigger conversations. And so we loved what they're doing, just to see the work that's gone into that. And, then in the space of the Tabernacle, being able to look at it and go, okay, how can we help? Can we help financially? Of course. Can we help with the sweat equity, as you mentioned? That's where I think we begin to build the community that we have here of brothers and sisters in Christ that serve alongside of each other. When you take off on a missions trip, from the second you get on that plane, there's a different dependency. There's a different prep of the heart as it relates to your pleading with the Holy Spirit, like, please keep us safe on this flight.
Yeah, exactly.
You get on the ferry, it's all a brand new experience. You're experiencing these things together, many for the first time, and then ministering alongside of each other in a place where you're dependent on a lot of things that you're not used to being dependent on. You're out of your comfort zone. I have friendships that were forged in missions trips that will last a lifetime. I don't even see those people very often, but there's
you experience that hard thing together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
or that different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that this creates the potential and opportunity for us to see massive spiritual growth in the hearts of our people, just in another step in that faithful obedience to Christ. Is God calling you to serve in a mission field? Some of the mission fields anymore are so difficult to get into. I always grew frustrated when there's a language barrier. I felt like they were having to make up stuff for me to do just so that, the Americans are here. Let's find something to do. Go dig that ditch. Okay, I'll dig a ditch. And not to downplay other fields.
You're willing to dig the ditch.
Here, we can take and actually know the project, read the blueprints, crank the stuff out, and we'll be able to physically see things being accomplished on the daily basis. So it's not only the spiritual enrichment of Bible studies together and time in the Word, the time of fellowship together, but it's also the ability to say, God is allowing me and my skill set to have eternal values.
There you go.
I think that's rich.
Yeah. So you can see our people. You can see teams there. What are the obstacles that we're waiting? Because I want to dream a little bit and say, hey, because I know you guys spent a lot of time, and I've heard some of your stories. Feel free to share them, but it wasn't the easiest to get to, and there was a fiasco on the way home. But because anytime you travel, that's what's just going to happen. But I want to get to the time where you're dreaming about what it could look like, right? Yeah. But before that, what are they trying to do as far as purchasing this land on the island?
Yeah, I've spoken enough. Get it.
You're doing a great job. There's a section of land that is owned by the state, and it's part of a mental health system within their within the state government,
or like an initiative.
And what it is they sell the land, and then that money goes to mental health things in the state. And so, but anytime you're working with the government, it's not easy, right? So if you listen to this and work for the government, do something. Stop listening. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. But it's hard. And so there's loopholes, or there's things that they're having to do. But it sounds as though, like when we were there, they got yes, this is happening, but there's going to be a time they have to mark everything out, and to where we could call somebody and have them go mark it out. The government can't. And so it takes them a while to do that. So that's in play. They're in the middle of doing that right now. So they've already been working on this for
3 years.
3 years, 2 or 3 years of getting this property, and it sounds like they're in the home stretch now. Yeah. So in the next year, they should actually have ownership of the property to start doing that. But yeah, so that's kind of the hurdle they're waiting on right now. I don't know if you had any more.
No, I think his the purchase of the land is a significant component to this. Some of the money's there. More money will need to be raised. Mm-hmm. But when that is kind of like, we can check mark, we have the land. The timber companies have agreed, excitedly volunteered to come in and flatten the ground because it's kind of slopes down to this lake. Mm-hmm. The lake is pristine. Mm-hmm. It's the headwaters, I believe. I'm not going to say which river because I'm probably wrong, but of one of the rivers, it's the headwaters. And then flowing into that is this little stream. And we were just touring the property and kind of
Was this the video that I saw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's
I
like
get a video from a satellite and it's of a river, like up close. It's like, what am I looking at? And then I look closer and I'm looking at sockeye salmon.
yeah,
So,
they're swimming in, and it was gorgeous. And Pacific Northwest is a surreal experience to begin with. When you walk in and all the moss and the moss growing from trees, and this is all old growth, hemlock and western red pine and spruce, and it's just incredibly gorgeous. I try to take a video of one of our little hikes back into this river, and it's like, that looks so lame comparatively, because the
It
whole
looked
time
great,
you're just like,
yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
fathom that I'm walking through this.
Yeah.
But so that's a hurdle, is the time frame. Yet there are other projects
Right.
that are they're getting ready to build another small home for an internship program in Craig. So that's something that we could probably tackle in the next year.
Right.
We're looking at maybe something at the end of April, offering the first team trip up there. All that to be verified and confirmed.
Yeah,
So if you are excited about this and you're thinking, man, I want to be a part of this, please talk to Adam or I, and we'll get you on the list. Anytime I've mentioned it, people are like, yeah, I'm going. Let's do this.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be hard to fill the teams, but just we kind of have to walk patiently with what that looks like. And
You might have to wait for your turn.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
And-
I can envision this being over the next few years.
Oh,
We're
for
sending
sure.
multiple
Absolutely.
teams a year.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
so this is not a one, like, oh, I didn't make that 10-man team. Like, no, there should be
there should be multiple
hundreds
teams
of people
because
going
it's
by the
a
end of
lot
this.
different than going to the Dominican or, like
Yeah.
we said, to Haiti
Yeah.
or to wherever. We're not talking about passports and shots. We're talking about, and this is the dream part, you raise your money for your flight. They have materials and tools there. If you have your favorite tools, you get, I was just in an airport. Well, I've been in multiple airports this summer watching tradesmen. They make really cool travel cases for tradesmen, you know, and, if you need your own stuff. But we're talking about a flight to Seattle, probably from Chicago, and then a flight to Ketchikan, correct? I don't know if it goes direct or not.
Yep.
You have to fly, right?
Yep.
And then it's all of it's basically all of your travel costs, because this church isn't just saying, come and give to us. Like, they're like, hey, we're going to supply food, even though it's $30 for a pound of beef. You might be eating non-beef, which let's go, right? But they're going to provide materials. We might, if we raise money, each person usually raises their own money or pays their own way. This is what we're talking about. If you can pay your way and you've got a skill, is it just men that you're envisioning?
No.
Men and women are on their teams all the time. Some of the women would prefer to just prep food and help with that part of it, which is a massive part of it, prepping lodging and those types of things when teams are coming in. Some of the women work in the trades and they're right there side by side. It's not limited to any of that, but there's vast opportunity as far as whatever the skill sets are. I was getting my hair cut this morning, and I'll say her name, Ashley, was asking, can I just go and cook?
Yeah.
And I was like, absolutely, you can.
Yeah.
So
because her husband Danny is a skilled tradesman.
He'll bring it.
100%.
But that's I think another really intriguing part of this is we're looking at somewhere between $1,200 and $1,500 a person. All travel expenses, extra on the side to help with food or whatever, in that budget amount. And we drove down to Chicago, flew to Seattle to Ketchikan, took a ferry into Hollis, and then drove the 40 minutes or whatever around to Craig. We then, on the way back, decided that we would take Taquan Air, which is a float plane. And the main reason I chose that is I wanted to see both travel options and go, all right, which one feels the most secure for our teams?
Right.
I personally love flying on float planes. I think it's fascinating because they fly below the clouds, regardless of where the clouds are, and they're just kind of interweaving around the mountains. But when we get there to take off, they said, be there at 7:55 to check in. We arrive, and it's
Flight
just
to like 8:15.
Yeah, and there's this little building sitting on the little lagoon or inlet or whatever, and a dock. There's a couple float planes tied up there, and you could tell where they would come in and pick you up kind of off the end of the dock. Nobody's there. And on this door, it says, if we're not here between 7 and 5, we have canceled flights because of weather. And it's like flat,
Beautiful.
calm, beautiful bluebird skies.
So there's no
So we're
like little app that dings and says your gate is changed.
No, no, no.
It's a
They
sign.
Show up and you're like, oh, well, it's canceled. Okay.
Yeah, it is third world.
So when we, if you're evaluating the rest of the day, we
Yeah.
have a certain block of time. We
And-
got to get there.
And there's a phone number to call, but your cell phone doesn't work.
Yeah, you don't have your
So-
cell service.
Forgot the sat phone.
Yeah.
Sergeant.
Yeah, really.
So there's the guy that dropped us off, Phil. He ran back to the church, called that office. Nobody answered, no messaging or anything. Called Ketchikan, and they're like, as far as we know, there's a plane coming in. And so we just hung out. And then all of a sudden you hear a plane lands. He's dropping off all the
Sounds
United
like a
States
spy
Postal
movie.
Service
Yeah, the
stuff.
mail. Yeah.
And then right as we're standing there, he goes, are you Adam Sharp and Adam Ray? And we're like, yep. And he goes, all right, this is your flight. Sweet. You're just kind of climbing on. The point in stating all that is there's a fun little adventurous component to it.
absolutely.
And he was a phenomenal pilot. Scott,
Mhm.
shout out if you ever listen to this, he won't. But
He does have service.
yeah. But for the sake of our teams, aside from just having to schedule something specific to get
Mhm.
them to a certain flight, we'll probably avoid the flights and just use the ferry because
Ferry
it
made way more
runs
sense.
like
Yeah.
clockwork,
Mhm.
in at one point in the day and out at the other
Yeah.
point of the day. So that'll be our plan.
Yeah.
And we'll just kind of have to
Was
schedule.
that your first float plane experience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Were you a little bit nervous, or was it like we're landing
No.
on water?
No, I loved it. That was incredible.
If he
And the
was
pilot
nervous at all, he showed no
He,
nervousness.
oh no, he never does.
Yeah,
No.
when we were about probably 5 miles from Ketchikan, all of a sudden our phones,
Start
Got
dinging again.
service?
Yeah.
and so we're FaceTiming our families from the back
plane.
seat of the plane.
Nice.
My kids are
Check it
talking.
out.
I'm like, I can't hear you.
I get-
I just-
what?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was amazing.
So to the sorry, you were going to go.
No, go ahead.
So for the projects, what we're saying is even though work at the camp may not be able to start, like you made it very clear,
Mhm.
we're waiting on permits, we're waiting
Yeah.
on ownership. We can see this being one of the initiatives from Big Give, which is coming up before Thanksgiving. It's an annual thing that our church does. If you're not aware, we give over and above what we normally do, and the majority of that ends up going to outreach to ministries outside our church. So this might be an initiative that we attach to that.
Mhm.
But even though the camp might be a year out, there's so many other projects that we can bless these churches. We can be a revolutionary Antioch church by blessing churches in our own country that are kind of forgotten flyover country,
Yeah.
unless you're a hunter or a fisherman or
Mhm.
a tourist going to Alaska or dreaming of moving to Alaska,
Mm.
having no idea what it really means to live in Alaska.
Mhm.
And you think that we can probably start this within the next year.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was super impressed too, just with one, what they've done with the resources they have, but then also the vision that they have for the future. And so we met 3 different churches with 3 different churches. One's a 3-hour ferry ride from the other one. One's an hour and a half drive up the island, somewhere on the island. By the way, my internal compass does not work in
Does not.
Really?
Prince of Wales
Really?
Island.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I could not figure out where we were at. But thankfully, he has the Onyx app that showed us where we went, so we could use it to get back.
Wow.
But anyway, the vision that they have, though, that the one they're working together, and we talked about that earlier, but then the vision that they have for the years to come and what they want to accomplish was also one of the reasons that I was like, we could be involved with this, because it wasn't just this idea. They had an idea, and now they've put a lot of work into this is how it's going to happen. So the prep work that's been happening on, again, the finishing the basement of the parsonage, which they were doing this week, all of those things are leading up to their ultimate goal, to
Mhm.
reach more people in Alaska, to serve the students in Alaska. Well, all of them with the camp.
Mhm.
But so I loved the planning part of it that they have, because sometimes you hear ideas and you're like, that's a great idea. How are you going to do that?
They've already
We're
got
hoping
that.
you do
Yeah.
that,
Right.
No, they've got it figured out. Tommy is amazing. He's running, I don't know how many different projects at a time. Some in Alaska, some in Alabama, some in, I don't know if there's a state he hasn't built a church in yet. But it's very well planned out. And so I think that was really cool, because it also shows the heart behind it, that it wasn't just we think we should do this. We should do this. And
So
they're putting a lot in place
This
already.
isn't our idea. This is their idea.
No, we
What
just
is-
get to be part of it.
What is their response to, or what was their response to you guys? That there's two pastors coming from this church we've never heard of in a part of Michigan. We've maybe heard of Michigan during the election year, but like, what is their response or their reaction to, hey, we think we could we could get people motivated to come up here, tradesmen, tradeswomen, people that just want to come and serve. Like, what was their reaction to that?
Tommy specifically, he texted me yesterday and he's like, dude, I'm still on a high from having you guys here. Like, it encouraged their hearts that we care. And the other pastors, I watch them and they're gauging their reactions carefully because we're not the first guys that have shown up with dreams and promises that didn't, I'm sure, fulfill those. I can't wait to be like, no, we're for real. We're in. And be on the ground doing the work and supporting in those components. But there's an excitement because without external resources and people, this doesn't happen. This dream doesn't happen. If you're looking at a couple of guys from the church hacking away at a camp, 15 years, 16 years, that might have it to a place of functionality with the appropriate number of teams in a year and a half, they can have something functioning and just continue to expand from there. But get the framework built. I loved from a logistical side, they formulate a plan such as White Cliff Church has a basement. So they go in, remodel all the rooms to make sure that there's ample bathrooms and showers. So shower, bathrooms, place to stay. One church supported them by sending air mattresses, pillows, sheets, pillowcases.
A bus.
A bus. Wow.
So you can transport the guys back and forth to the ferry.
Yeah.
When you land in Ketchikan, Adam and I learned that you can't get to the mainland without taking a ferry. And you can sit there and wait for the driver to come as long as you want to, but until you get on the ferry and get to where he is, you're not going to see him.
Gotcha.
So we were all of a sudden like, wait a minute,
scouting
dude.
mission.
Yeah.
We're on an island.
Yeah.
Like, how do we get over there?
There was a cop who was like, are you guys waiting for somebody? Because like everyone else left and we're like, yeah. And he's like, probably should go to the ferry. We're like, oh,
thank you, sir. Thank you,
thanks,
officer.
man.
Yeah.
That's why you send somebody first, right?
Yeah.
Before you take a team.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
But just little things like that. And so those churches have supported in helping with all the intangibles that are like, I could pack a suitcase full of sleeping bags, air mattresses, pillows, so that I have a place to sleep. Now I can pack extra tools, extra supplies. I don't have to worry about that component. Slept great, both places, great air mattresses, and felt clean.
Yeah.
Got up, took a shower.
Mostly great air mattresses.
By the way, this dude takes far more showers than he needs to take.
He's a
I'd
clean
take
man.
2 showers a day, sir.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, you take a shower, go to bed, wake up, take a shower. I don't know if that's necessary
Yeah.
shower. It's all.
It feels necessary.
But as far as what I see, big picture, like when you're in the trenches working with people in the church, in your church,
Oh, yeah.
the relationships that are built, you can't build them anywhere else. So.
Yeah. There's a history here to it, and I'm getting excited. Even I was excited the first time you brought it up coming back from Alabama, and then it was, hey, are we sending 2 guys? Yeah, this makes sense because we can't make an educated decision unless we go and see. So we send 2. We send the spies, just like and you've been to the Promised Land, and we're going to talk about those salmon in a minute.
Yeah,
but there's a recent history of this attitude, the Northern Michigan man. The Tabernacle Northern Michigan man, besides all of the great things that happen on a missions trip, and my background is missions, we hosted missions, I led missions trips, but back in 2010, after the huge earthquake in Haiti, somehow we got pushed to the front of the line because we had tradesmen, and I thought that I still had enough Creole. I wasn't convinced, but they were, right? And so somehow through this organization, our very first in recent history missions team was 8 guys in a disaster zone. And I was the only thing I had was leadership, and this is my country, and I could speak the language. All the other guys knew how to build things, break things and build things. And what I saw those guys do was, we had 10 grand in cash that we had. That's a whole nother story, that we had to get the mafia to change into money and find a broken down Home Depot, Haitian Home Depot. And, we're climbing under broken concrete to get our stuff out, that we're going to build a clinic is what they asked us to do in the middle of a refugee camp. Just a wooden clinic. And if we can just get 4 posts and a roof on in 8 days. No, these guys had it up. There were windows. There was a floor. They got electric. Don't ask me how. All I know is the state of Michigan and their permits were not there.
Yeah.
Guys are fine. The electrician is, taking wires from and all the other component things, while I'm just translating, from busted homes to build this place that had power so they could have a enclosed clinic for 2,000 refugees living on a soccer field. That's when I saw the power of what happens when God's people, do I take a little godly pride in those are our guys, these Northern Michigan Tabernacle guys, they did it. But over and over, I've seen them in projects. They're unloading a semi-truck as we speak right across the way for our food pantry. We saw them do a monster remodel of ripping out 2 walls and rebuilding a master bedroom at the Shunem House, the missions house that we support. They did that in 3 days, from drywall to paint, demolition to new wall to drywall, electric to paint, and we were out. And cleanup, by the way. So I know that we can do this.
There was an electrician that cleaned up after himself?
No, there was the electrician just got the wiring in, right?
Different person.
But
talk about miracles.
That just excites me when people, I think, Adam, you said this a few minutes ago when you said, when someone can use their skill set, not that you're not using your skill set when you use it on a job site to feed your family, but when you can use it, when you can just give it away, God's people, this church, helping these churches, and you can say, listen, it's a bonus that I'm in beautiful Alaska and I finally got to see it, and I'm sure you'll get to go into a trinket shop or maybe catch some salmon in your free time, but it's really about getting this project done. I get fired up about that.
Absolutely.
100%. So,
yeah. And I look at God does not, this is not coincidental or accidental that I'm in this place, I say this, I get asked to speak here, I meet this guy, he shares a vision, and from that moment,
that's how it happens.
It's like, okay, this is definitely something we need
Either God is sovereign or he's not.
That's
and
right.
This isn't one of those just so happens.
Yep.
And so we want to be part of the follow through.
Yeah.
So this is an invitation.
Absolutely.
If you're thinking about it, start looking at your schedule, start saving up your money. We've typically asked people that, hey, I'd really like to go, but 1,500 is a little too steep, but I have these skills. Okay, well then there's the humbling aspect of trying to raise your funds. This is how much it's going to cost to go on this Tabernacle team. And you start sending out support letters. Who will support me to go on this? I'd support that. Yeah.
And you say it's a humbling thing, and it is. But another way to look at that is it's actually super cool for people other than yourself to still get to be part of it. That can't go and do it. And so as they're investing in you going, it's a blessing for them too. And so it's not just I'm going to humble myself and ask.
Right.
It's no, they get to be part of it
That's
as
said.
well. So,
because not everyone can go.
Right.
Or someone within our church, you're like, hey, I remember going on a mission trip years ago, and now it's not going to work for me to go for whatever reason. Maybe I'm not physically able anymore, or I would like someone else to have that opportunity. My schedule won't permit it, but I'd like to help someone else be a part of this and experience what I experienced. Like maybe you were on that first Haitian trip and you're like, I can't go now, but I'm going to help pay for this guy to go because he really needs to go. Because you can't diminish, you were putting it very eloquently, Adam Ray, when you were saying that, being out of your comfort zone, which is out of state for some people never been on an airplane. for sure not on a ferry boat or a seaplane or, to this part of the world. What's familiar is your skills, but now you're with a group of people. It becomes like a small group field trip where you're using your skills, but just the interactions that you have with this totally different demographic, which is the Alaskan Native, is, I'm guessing, right, from kind of what you've just said. But
I also, like, to all the woodworkers out there, the framers, the builders, the opportunity to pick up a 2x4 that is 2 inches by 4 inches out of old growth hemlock with these absolutely incredibly tight growth rings. The weight difference is insane. Like, we were loading a truck and you just watch the truck leaning, and I'm like, dude, if we loaded it with Home Depot 2x4s, it wouldn't even squat. This is
really,
just like,
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I think you're saying that's quality wood.
It's like true rough cut.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
true rough cut, but to see a lot of our lumber is like they speed it through the process. It's grown so fast that the growth rings are massive, and it's pretty soft. This was not. This was unreal. So.
Well, Matt is a builder in his past life. Right. Are you getting excited right over there? Matt, can we see you on one of these trips potentially?
Yeah, I could envision that as well.
Matt. He was just so. Before we close, we got to hear about the salmon.
Oh,
because I did see a picture of what I thought was a stream, and the stream was moving, but there was something moving underneath it.
Yeah,
and you had said at one point, like, just describe the first time that you saw the infestation of sockeye salmon.
So you have like this. Actually, you know what? I've seen this before. Adam has not.
Yeah.
And so your reaction would be better.
So this particular stream that he's talking about is actually on the property in which this camp is going to be built.
Yeah.
Very cool. But you're walking through it, and there's parts of it where it's very shallow. And some mountain men here, who are much more skilled than I am, could just reach down and catch them.
With their hands?
With their hands.
I did find out.
I tried.
That might not like be 100% legal. So
allegedly, he caught
allegedly.
one with his hands.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
You put it back.
It was a very short high smile.
It was,
and put back in.
But yeah, you're walking through this area, and then you can kind of hear the water, and then you can see it, and there's a stream coming through. And there are so many salmon that are traveling upstream. I'm fairly certain you could walk on top of them in some spots.
Wow.
It was bizarre. And they're also not smart fish, so they'd get really shallow and have to like flop their way back into the water. Right. Because it's like, oh, you just beached yourself.
Yep.
Still couldn't catch that one either.
Yeah. You talking about yourself or Adam Ray?
Me. Yeah. No, he caught him. I tried.
Yeah.
I tried. I didn't want to get my feet wet.
Yeah.
I need new boots for the next trip.
You get the muck boots out.
Yeah, it was incredible. I've never seen that. Also, okay.
Yeah.
There's another spot. I learned some things about myself on this trip, and just some things in general.
Go for it, yeah.
First off, I turned into a Calvinist when driving through that place, and then also when I'm walking far behind the person with a gun that can't protect me from the bears.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
You just trust God.
Calm, and I was like,
it's
if
all
it
in the hands
happens,
of
at least
God.
I got to go here first, you know?
I just heard him rag on my driving. I think is what I heard.
I didn't say it was you,
but Adam's driving.
I didn't say it was you, but we did get air in a box truck.
We did. This is true.
I'm pretty sure Tommy was like, you can't drive that anymore. Because the saw was, anyway, sorry, Tommy. It was his fault.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't know you could snag salmon when you're facing one way. But if you're facing the other way, you cannot. So
I'm not sure I can.
There's a spot where the river runs into the ocean, and the tide was down, so we walked out onto where the ocean typically is. And if you're facing forward into the ocean when you're fishing, you can legally snag them and keep them. If you just turn your body to the right and you fish in the river, you may not snag and keep them, even though it's like 10 feet apart.
Really?
It was
in the
incredible.
Salt, snagging is legal. Not in the salt. Not legal. So,
but it was amazing. And
wow.
So we're standing there fishing, and I don't realize I'm getting inched back and back further because the tide was coming in. And then I look behind me, and he's like, "You're gonna get your feet wet," because it had filled in behind me.
Oh,
so
wow.
now I'm standing in the ocean.
Wow.
But it was incredible. It was
now
amazing.
you did find a rod, right?
We did.
We did.
The last day. Tommy was like, "We've met everybody we needed to meet. You've seen everything on the island we wanted to show you. let's take some time and just enjoy ourselves. And these were a friend of his named Ron. Thank you, Ron, if you hear this. They were not his best rods, obviously, because he's loaning them out to complete lunatics from Northern Michigan. But we managed to figure out how to make them function enough to.
You ever watch MacGyver when you were a kid?
Yes. You MacGyvered it.
I used a Band-Aid to keep my pole together.
Oh, well done.
That I had in my backpack.
So one of the things that we look forward to on these trips is setting up, whether it's probably the final day or a day in the middle, just making sure that anybody that goes gets to experience some of that culture. So whether it's fishing or hiking or whatever, there's too much there to see to go and not get a chance to see a little 100%. Bit of it. But we were on a river, I think it was the Harris River, maybe.
I don't know.
There was a spot where this deep hole, you look down into it and the water's perfectly clear, but it looks stained in that area. And all of a sudden you're like, I'm looking at thousands of salmon just packed in this hole. Something I'd never seen to that magnitude, and just fish running up consistently. And so we set up on there for a couple hours. We caught a bunch of fish, and most of them were actually caught, not snagged, as some might have mentioned earlier. And so they were taking them to smoke them, and just cool to see the way things are there.
And so you caught some?
Oh, yeah.
How many did you catch?
I think I landed 12 or 13 there, and then
show off.
I just kept the ones that were 100% for sure in the mouth legal.
Yeah.
Because I want to continue to go back to Alaska and not be.
So you guys had salmon?
We did not eat them.
No,
you didn't get them. Okay.
So Tommy, the guy that was hosting us, the salmon that we caught, he cleaned and then was giving to a guy that lived next to the church. Doesn't attend the church.
Nice.
But just was giving to him to smoke.
Because you guys are leaving the next day.
Yeah, left the next morning early. And, it was great. There was nothing, on the way back, we learned some stuff in Chicago about the tram. But again,
it's all part of the adversity.
It is. And we look at it.
It's not well marked. There was no policeman to say,
go to the ferry.
Go to the ferry. Yeah.
Eventually we got to my truck and started our drive back, and then we were kind of too late to get a hotel at that point, so we just decided to bust it home. Got home about 6 a.m. And we got right back after it. He went to a birthday party. I went to a wedding rehearsal, and I only said the wrong name for the kid one time, so it wasn't terrible.
Oh my days! I got a story about that. I'll tell you later.
I learned that when you get to Seattle, you can run to get your plane. You will make it. Your luggage will not.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So our first day in Alaska, we had no luggage.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Worked out fine.
Yeah.
It just made brushing my teeth that next morning that much more special.
Your finger. Well, guys, thanks for going on the scouting mission, even though there was some. I mean, I'm glad that it was also like a bucket list thing. That I don't shy away from that stuff. Missions doesn't have to be, because there's some people that Alaska would be the last place that they would want to go. But if you're excited about this, I would encourage you, first thing to do is to, regardless if you're excited about it, to start praying about it. Because this sounds like a partnership that has Tabernacle written all over it. I don't imagine we will struggle to find men and women that want to go. Students are going to be sad if there's not a place for a student or three. But it sounds to me like there's plenty of work to be done. And so the first thing is to start praying with us about this. And we're looking for an opportunity. I think you said potentially next April,
maybe
is what I heard.
End of April, probably. Possibly.
So that's exciting stuff. And maybe Matt, maybe you can pull a little seniority around here. If that's something you need a little breakaway, we'll find somebody else. We'll get Benjamin here to do the podcast so you can get away. Yes.
For sure.
Get
on all of our behalf.
Yeah,
We're
on
not
all of our
Easter.
behalf. Yeah, but that's
I can only imagine the look that Victoria would give us if we were all like, hey, we're going to be gone the week before Easter.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah. And I'm just wondering if there's a Dublin General Store connection there. if there's some kind of meat treats that need to make their way.
I think they do. Be great.
sure.
I'm sure they have Alaskan meats at some place in Dublin General Store, but it sounds like maybe they need to ship some of their burger north. $30 a pound. But with the bounty of the land, what I'm hearing you say is it's really not that necessary.
Get after it.
Mm-hmm.
You saw bear,
We did.
deer,
Lots of black-tailed deer.
blacktail. Did you see elk?
There's no elk on that island.
There's no elk on the island. You saw salmon.
Lots.
Adam Sharp, did you see snakes? Because I know those aren't your thing.
Listen,
I hate snakes.
they could be lying to me. I believed it. But I think it's true.
It's true.
The best part of Prince of Wales Island, there are no snakes on the island at
Oh,
all.
praise
None.
God.
Bro, it was
Praise
amazing.
God.
I didn't have to fear anything.
Because I don't care about
I
spiders.
didn't even really
do
see
care
a
about
spider.
I didn't see a
remember
spider.
seeing a
Doesn't
spider.
mean there weren't spiders there. We didn't
Yeah.
ask that question.
Yeah.
But yeah, no snakes because we were walking through it's a rainforest.
Yeah.
I mean, and no snakes. It was
Wow.
amazing. Because I'd much rather deal with a bear than a
It's
snake.
funny to watch, like, the people that live there aren't really that fearful of black bear.
Yeah.
On a scale of black bear to grizzly, I'm not that worried about a
No.
black bear either. There was one in our group that was very fearful of black bears. So I was carrying the gun on our fishing adventures, and he never left my side.
No.
So he was pretty close by.
Hey, bear's a bear, man. Hey, bear. Hey, bear.
bear.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Black bears aren't going to mess with you.
Now,
Generally.
Yukon
Almost
River
always.
Knives
Yeah.
supports Alaskan Inland Mission.
Yep.
That's further north, correct?
Mhm.
That's more the circuit type pastors that are servicing. Is there any potential connection there at all that you're aware of? Sorry, I probably should have asked you that beforehand.
No,
Yeah.
I think that there's a really good possibility, if nothing else, looking at like a pastors and pastors' wives retreat potentially.
there
at
we
camp.
go. Yeah.
They're in kind of the Palmer, Alaska area at Alpine Baptist Church is the kind of home base there. So great group of people. Love being able to partner with them. Speaking of that, like we've had a little bit of a dry run here of knife sales. So if you're considering it,
Yes,
getting into
I'm
this fall
pushing it
season,
right
let's
here.
go.
Let's
This is
go.
a great time.
Hunting season's kicking off. Get yourself a Yukon River knife. Do you have a Yukon River knife yet?
I don't.
You've been to Alaska with the man. You don't have one of those
I know,
knives
that's
yet.
what I was saying.
Yeah,
All
that's
in due time. All in due time.
It's yukonriverknives.org. You can get your knife, and they have custom knives now as well.
They do.
Correct? Yeah.
Yep. A lot of people are ordering, like recently have been ordering Bible verses inscribed, logos for companies. Yukon tribal group just ordered service awards in the knives with their logos on engraved on the knives. But a lot of Bible verses and graduation gifts and that type of
Oh,
thing.
it's a
So
great gift.
It's been cool.
It's a great gift to commemorate whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Be a great anniversary gift. Just don't use it on me. Type of thing. And even if you're not a tradesperson, I think there's still opportunities for you to be a part of this.
There is.
We haven't figured it all out yet, but I was even just thinking, if Trace Cakes, if you're listening, also known as Base Cakes, I could see her on one of these trips, baking up that delicious goodness for not just the worker dudes, but blessing.
Well, and
whomever.
even Tommy was talking about a lot of the teams they send will have 3 people that actually know what they're doing, and the rest are learning.
There you
and
go.
are being told what to do. So
you just want to go to Alaska, and you're willing to be a gopher.
If you're willing to carry lumber around, cool. You don't have to be the skilled carpentry guy,
and you might learn something.
But you're going to hand the skilled carpentry guy his tools. You know what I mean?
Go. Yeah.
So, but you can still go and do it. You don't have to be like, well, I'm not an electrician or a plumber, so that's not that.
Comes
like
to tipping up walls. You just need bodies.
Yeah.
I like it. And we're going to need leaders too. We can't just send staff people all the time.
I mean, I guess I'll go every time.
You'll go every time.
I'll take one for the team.
That's good. Well, gentlemen, thank you. That was informative. Church, I hope you're fired up about it. Matt, did we leave anything out? We covered it, and we're trying to stay within our time. So pray about it. Start thinking about it. Talk to your spouse or your family about it, and talk to either one of the Adams can give you information. And we're going to see what God has. We're not going to be the spies that are like, no, it's too hard, it's too far, because it's really not. It's not even close to what the spies in the book of Numbers had to deal with. So you are our Joshua and Caleb. Well done, boys. So Tab family,
It's
please share please share this podcast. Share it on socials, subscribe, and until next time, this is Adam, Lord Matthew, Corey Hughes, and John Vermilia signing off.